welcome to Broken Entertainment. So, I nearly missed this article because I don't have a lot of interest in the Flash movie. And a lot of that is because I don't have faith that they'll actually make it a good movie. I think it's going to be either really good or really, really, really terrible. And most of DC's movies of late have not shifted towards the really, really good. But let's go ahead and get into this. There's some rumors going around about how this Flash movie is going to interact with the multiverse, how it's going to move everything forward. They're putting all their eggs in this one basket to say, okay, this is how we're going to move our DC universe forward. And if it fails, I don't know what they're going to do unless they're just going to keep doing it anyway. But at some point they can't just keep failing at these, right? I mean, eventually they got to stop if they keep failing, maybe. Who knows? It's WB, they might do anything. Anyway, the rumor is that Andy Muschietti's The Flash could wipe the Snyderverse from DCEU canon. We knew it was a risk when it was announced that Andy Muschietti's upcoming The Flash would utilize a version of Jeff Johns and Andy Kubert's Flashpoint storyline. But now a new rumor suggests Barry Allen's solo adventure could retcon or erase Zack Snyder's established continuity from the DC Extended Universe. They do not like this guy. I don't know why they don't like this guy. You know, they didn't want to do the Snyderverse cut of the Justice League. They didn't want to do any of this stuff. And it's like they just like hate him. I don't know what it is about him. Maybe he won't play ball with their politics. I don't know. So this is the latest prediction coming from Geekosity's Mike Sutton, whose sources tell him that Warner Brothers wants to uncouple or disconnect the Snyderverse from the DCEU. That I absolutely believe that. Every way they have responded to this Snyder cut of the Justice League coming out has suggested that. You know, they did almost nothing to promote it. They acted like it was going to fail, and then as it has succeeded, they're still going, oh no, that's the end of that. We're not interested in any more Snyder movies. Additionally, in order to make this change happen, Sutton's source reports that the studio will take inspiration from the Flashpoint paradox, the multiverse, and a dash of 1986's Crisis on Infinite Earths. In Sutton's words, some worlds will perish, giving birth to a new DCEU, with some heroes making the ultimate sacrifice along the way. See, this is like the cheapest thing you can do, okay? It's, oh look, we're going to kill off these characters, but not really. Because we're going to reset the universe, they're going to come back, just different actors. It's cheap. In the original Crisis, it was Barry Allen and Supergirl who met such a fate, but Andy Muschietti's Flash may substitute Ben Affleck's Batman until he takes one for the team. Yeah, you wouldn't want to get rid of Ezra Miller, good lord. He's so great. Affleck is rumored to be coming back to the role of the Caped Crusader. Small cameo in The Flash. And if that's really the case, it's hard to see his Bat's death being meaningful the way it was supposed to be in the proposed Justice League 3. Yeah, they're just going to throw him away. Regardless, he's a lingering issue for the WB as the studio wants to pass the torch to Robert Pattinson and his alleged scandals, should they be true. I think Robert Pattinson is going to be a disaster. I was open for his casting initially, but everything that has come out about this movie just sounds like it's going to fall face first into the pavement when it comes out. And honestly, I've seen the Batmobile pictures and it looks terrible. It doesn't look like the Batmobile. It looks like a car with an exposed engine. It just... Nothing good has come of this movie. And maybe it'll land and it'll be great. But man, if it lands and just falls flat and this is the guy they're putting all their hopes on, wow. So Sutton states they want Pattinson to be the only Batman in the movies, even though Michael Keaton could be coming aboard for Flash. Keaton isn't meant to spend a long time in the cape and cowl. If he does appear, it's been rumored that he'll retire as Batman and stay on as the older Bruce Wayne to mentor the new heroes. Batgirl and Terry McGinnis are rumored to be on the list. That's fine. Snyder may be expatriating to Netflix for the time being, but Sutton noted that HBO Max wants to hold on to both Affleck and the Army of the Dead director for possible DC projects, such as a Batman vs. Deathstroke movie, which was hinted at in the Snyder Cut. Now, I'd be all for a Batman TV show on HBO Max with Ben Affleck as Batman. I liked Ben Affleck as Batman a lot. Especially when you see him in the Snyder Cut version of the Justice League. I think it does him a lot more, justice, frankly. Just released on the streaming service, Zack Snyder's Justice League is drawing an audience. Despite this, Ann Sarnoff is primed to move on and consider it the conclusion of the Snyderverse canon, which is now an alternate universe. That's, okay. They're gladly keeping what they want. Jason Momoa is still Aquaman. Amber Heard is still Mera. Ezra Miller is still The Flash, and Gal Gadot remains Wonder Woman. Her last movie isn't putting a damper on the third installment from Patty Jenkins. Please take Patty Jenkins away from creative control of Wonder Woman. Please. She did fine as a director in the first movie. She did a good job. The second movie, she's given script control and everything goes to hell. However, the worlds of these characters won't be as connected. By keeping the multiverse free and fluid and ignoring Snyder's movies, the WB can do anything they want with each individual member of the Justice League, as well as upcoming depictions of Blue Beetle, Black Adam, and Supergirl. Black Adam might be the only thing that gets Henry Cavill to stay on with the rest of the pack, but only in that corner of the multiverse made possible by Dwayne Johnson because The Rock wants Cavill. Henry Cavill, I think, has been a great Superman. And I think, along with getting rid of Ben Affleck, it would be one of their biggest mistakes to get rid of him. But they want to go forward with this, quote-unquote reimagined Superman. So, yay, politics. And one exception aside, the WB acknowledges the shaky state of the DC publishing arm, and reportedly wants to disregard the comics and their canon as easily as they have Snyder. That's a terrible idea. That's a horrible, awful, terrible idea. You don't have to follow the comics line for line, but the comics are what made these characters popular. Without the comics, there are no movies. And you've got a lot of fans that are fans because of the comics, and you're just going to say, nah, we're going to reimagine everything, and, we're going to put an S on this guy, and now he's Superman. He doesn't act like Superman or do anything like Superman or follow any of the Superman stories, but there's an S, so, that's Superman. See, it's a mantle. Their desire is to offer diverse product, and it is not always quite true to their comic book roots. So, if this is true, their active desire is to completely disregard where these characters came from, what made these characters who they are, and recast them, and then focus on diversity. Diversity, in the way they mean it, is a bad thing. Diversity in the terms of having different characters and different actors of different ethnicities and so on is great. But they're talking about shoehorning. Okay? They're talking about, yes, there's this Latina character, but we're going to cast the Latina actress as Supergirl because Supergirl's popular and it's too hard to make a Latina character. Okay? Just put on this costume and everybody will know you're Supergirl because you got the whole S and there's some blue involved. It's complete disregard, not just of the characters, but of the people in question. You're not helping these. You're not helping Latinas. You're not helping black people. You're not helping other ethnicities by shoving them into somebody else's skin, okay? They have popular characters, good characters that are made in the comics that are other ethnicities than white. But they never use those characters. They use existing quote unquote popular characters because I guess it's too hard to bring in Jessica Cruz, who is actually pretty popular in the comics and would be popular in a movie because she's a likable character. It's too hard to do that. It's too hard to bring in Jon Stewart when you could just, put a black guy in a Superman costume. I mean, the characters are there. They're just ignoring them. Okay, because they want to prove an agenda. And to prove their agenda, they have to recast white characters as something else. And it's unfortunate, not for the white characters, it's unfortunate for these other characters that already exist. They act like it's never been done. They act like Blade doesn't happen. They act like Jessica Cruz doesn't exist. They act like Jon Stewart doesn't exist. And in doing so, they hurt their cause. And not only do they hurt their cause, they actually hurt what everybody wants. Because who cares about tokenism when you could have these characters? Jon Stewart's a great character. If you're not familiar with him, he's the Black Green Lantern. And he's a great character. People love him. He was in the Justice League cartoon. He was awesome. Why are we not casting him? Well, because they want to reimagine somebody. Because bringing in Jon Stewart would be, acknowledging that he exists. They're trying to say that this has never been done when it's been done. So to say that it has never been done, they have to ignore the past and recast. And it sucks. Because whether you like the Snyderverse or not, these actors are good in their roles. And a Jessica Cruz Green Lantern would have been awesome. But no, we're going to cast this woman that looks exactly like Jessica Cruz in every way. We're going to cast her as Supergirl, who she looks nothing like. Okay? And we're going to hire an activist to write a Superman movie because we want to talk about agenda. You don't hear them talk about the great stories. They talk about their agenda. First and second and third. Because it's all Hollywood cares about anymore. And it's deeply unfortunate because it hurts the people that they're white knighting for, okay? What is more useful? Taking an existing character and recasting them into a minority actor, or taking an existing character who is actually pretty popular and casting them with a minority actor because that minority actor actually fits the role. Jon Stewart would be great. Jessica Cruz would be great. We've already got 3 awesome Blade movies, okay? But they're getting ignored because they're trying to tell you this has never happened before. They're trying to tell you that nobody is there are no heroes for, and I've seen the interviews where they're like, well, when I grew up, I didn't realize that superheroes could look like me. So you didn't watch Blade? You didn't read Jon Stewart? You didn't see these characters that have existed since the 60s and 70s? And they act like women haven't been superheroes. And you've got Wonder Woman who's existed since the 1940s. But if they acknowledge all of that, if they bring in these characters and make them popular and have awesome movies with them, then they can't pretend it never happened. And that's what they do. And so the last line here, the comics will simply provide ideas they can turn into something different and tweak it to reflect the times. Yeah, that's what I want. I want a Superman movie that reflects the times instead of a Superman movie that lasts forever. Superman 1979 is still popular. It's 2021. And it's because it wasn't a for the times movie. It was a Superman movie. It happened to be made in the 70s. Batman 1989 is a very popular movie because it's a Batman movie. It happened to be made in the 80s, but it was not made for the 80s. Okay, RoboCop is a very popular movie made in the 80s. And it, interestingly enough, really took a lot from its time period and the concerns of its time period and then extrapolated out from there. But it didn't make the movie about the 80s. It immersed it in those concerns, which are universal concerns that continue to exist. But they're going to take something and they're going to say, oh no, right now, in this exact moment, this is a concern. It's never been a concern before, and it probably won't be anything anybody cares about in 5 years. We're going to talk about this for 2 hours, and there's going to be a Superman in it somewhere. You know, we're going to lecture you about race, or we're going to lecture you about approved religions, or we're going to lecture you about whatever, instead of just entertaining you. You know why Godzilla vs. Kong is hyped right now? Because Godzilla vs. Kong is just two monsters fighting. It's just fun. We want fun back. So until the WB figures this out, I don't think we're going to get any good movies. I think any good movies are going to happen on accident. So we'll see. We'll see what The Flash does. We'll see if it face plants. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe. If you're not subscribed, hit the bell for notifications. And I will see you next time.